Welcome back guys. So now today in this video I am going to say about the footprints which is belonging to the forensic subject. So as you know, whenever there is a crime committed in some place in some area, so first we are going to find about the trace evidences, right? First we are going to say about the physical evidences, trace evidences, right? So under those, one of the major important is fingerprints and the footprints. So based on that, fingerprints and footprints, today we are going to study about the footprints. Okay, let me write here. Okay, so not what do you mean by footprints? Of course, the foot means the lower part of your leg, which is down part is known as foot. So that is known as footprint, which is a very important evidence which you find in the crime cases. Like you can say like where you can find the footprints means like if you see any murder is committed somewhere, or if there is a house breaking, or there is a theft, robbery. In those cases, we can find the footprints. So normally I want to show you like how does that footprint look like if we got in some area. So first of all, if you take this as the leg. If you take this as your leg, so this part here having like fingers, right? So this part is known as ball. Okay, ball point like that, because it will be huge there, and the place here this part doesn't touch your ground, right? So whenever you have a footprint also, you'll get the footprints like this, you'll get. So this part will be left out because here this is known as, this is arc. The some people like I'm saying about the characteristics of the footprints also, because everyone's will not be the same. Every person individual have a different type of footprint. So this is known as arc, and this part is known as heel part. So these three major parts of the foot make the footprints. Okay, so footprints or foot impressions you can say. Okay, impressions means the one which are made like a copy of it. Okay, so now as you know, in our India also, like it is given in the textbook, in India, many of them are walking barefoot, even in the homes also. Not talking about unlike other countries also. So that's why footprints make a very important evidence wherever the crime has been committed. According to Locard's principle, like every contact leaves a trace. So that trace can be the footprints here. Got my point? So next, coming to the types of footprints. We have different types of footprints based on the surface, because on the surface only they are formed, right? So what are those? First one is sunken footprint. FP, I'm writing a sunken footprint. And the second one is surface footprint. Okay, so what is sunken footprint here means, so whenever if you take this, because as I said it is based on the surfaces, so whenever you find a footprint in like in the snow or mud or dust, what happens, like that makes the 3D dimensions. If you find anywhere snow is there, in a snow area you have, there is a crime has committed there. So when they found the footprints, how they gonna find, like if the snow is like this, then it gonna impression would be 3 dimensional. The footprint will be down the part. So that's why here in sunken footprints means mostly it will occur when it is covered by dust, dirt, and type of snow sometimes. Okay, so where this forms a 3 dimensional print, 3 dimensional print. So where you can find all the length, breadth, and even the height of the footprints. So you can imagine like, okay, if it is formed by dust or dirt, you can just take out, you can we have different type of methods like casting, lifting. Okay, so like if we have snow, then how we can do it? If we cast out the snow, of course the foot will get disturbed. So how they will take, because we have like that only, we have different types of methods to take the print, to cast the print. Like first, like example, main thing is plaster of Paris, like how your Ganesh idols, Lord Ganesh idols are made. they are made up of plastic of Paris, right? So they will pour in that by making a film mixture of the water and plastic of Paris. They have to mix it well, and we have to see that no lumps are formed, no air bubbles are formed. So once it is forming as creamy substance, then they are going to pour in that, and then they will lift out, which can, it is a very great taking of evidence, because it can have a correct picture of the footprint. Okay, so that's why sunken footprint is that. And what do you mean by surface footprint means? It is taken up on the floors, or sometimes if you touch on the walls, or on cupboards, you have wooden floors, some things like this. The surface should be even. Like here we'll get only the two-dimensional figure, only the two-dimensional footprint, means you have just a length and breadth. Okay, length and breadth. See, as I said you here, if you have a footprint like this, here what you can see, how they will measure it. First of all, they'll measure the length. If you take it as 10 centimeters, and here breadth like this. So this is like, if you take 2 centimeters, I'm taking as example. So here only length and breadth, both will be only there. But in the sunken footprint, if you find like this, you're taking a plaster of Paris. So you will get like total whole bunch. Okay. So now in this we are having, like if you take as a snow, I'm taking for example, here you're having the length, the breadth, and this is not measured as height. Okay, this is taken as in plastic of Paris, thing like that. So we have height, breadth and length. So this is about the sunken footprint and surface footprint. There are two types, sunken and surface. Based on the surface, type of surface, it is divided into these types, like 3-dimensional, 2-dimensional. Then now, so now we have to see like where these footprints are found. So it is based on the location. So where do you find normally about the footprints? First one is murder. You can make them on a road, you can write. Rape cases. In theft. In robberies. In house breakings. In road accidents. Okay, so in these type of places, in these locations, in these type of crime scenes, you can see in the murder, rape cases, theft, robbery, house breaking and road accidents, we can found the footprints as a physical evidence. Okay, so like how they gonna come? If you can say, take an example of house breaking, like or robbery. Of course he can't come from the door, that's why he will break the window and then he can come and enter into the home to further robbery. So under his foot he had, if he had wore any shoe, so we can say them as footwear impressions. Okay, like for every shoe, like for every shoe or footwear, there is a different type of design. So if you have like different types of factories which can establish, prepare these footwears, like if you take one example, like, so if we have different types of brand names like Bata, Plazo, Lagani, so you have different types. So for every shoemaker, for every factory, for every owner of those, you have different types of designs. Now if you take this, here like number will be given. So one will be like this, or the other one, if you think about the other brand, they'll have like this. So for every factory, for every individual shoemaker, there will be different things. Okay, for different designs, no one can copy the same thing by the other. So like that, if we have wore any shoe type of thing, then you can easily find out from where he have bought this. Okay, and the major thing, like if he came as a barefoot without thinking about the sound should not come outside like that, then what happens? If he has walked barefoot outside, of course some dust particles, soil particles would be to his shoe. like normally to his foot, he will leave that behind. By that also we can find him. So these are the locations where you can find this. Okay, so now we are going to talk about the how to secure if you find a footprint, how to preserve it. So normally, if you take an example of road accidents only, so if it is a road accident, first of all, you'll have a footprint which will be not that much visible only. By searching with so much effort, you can find if it is in the mud or like that. Okay, so the major causes for the preservation, because first of all, the footprint shouldn't be disturbed by anyone. Some of the viewers will be there exclusively and waiting to see what had happened, this and that. So what they will do means they'll come, they will stamp on this footprint and they will disturb that. So like that, or sometimes if after the crime has occurred, if you have rain, then what happens again, the footprint will be disturbed. Or if you find any animals, they will walk on that. Then so now, as I said, like some of the viewers will be there very enthusiastic, like what happened there. What they'll do means they will come and they will stamp all those footprints, right? So it'll disturb that. So those type of interactions, disturbances, we have to avoid. What type of thing? First, the outside viewers, we have to avoid them. So we have to first keep the fencing around that accidents and wherever the physical evidences are there. And then we have to avoid making contact with any other disturbances, like if you find wind, air and rains, and cause some of them as animals. Okay, so these should be precautions taken, they should not disturb that. So like if you have different cases, the first one is road accidents, like if it is an outdoor crime scene. So first, if you find any footprint, that should be wait, let me first draw. So this should be covered with the cardboard box or some of the tapes like this. Like we shouldn't allow anyone to come near the footprint. You have to cover it without getting any disturb. Or else you can keep any cardboard on that without any disturbances to that. Okay. And the second thing, if it is an outdoor, now if the footprint is observed in the indoor crime scenes, then what we have to do means, first of all, we have to secure the indoors total, like no one should enter into that. And then we have to place it in a secure thing, like no one can disturb it. And also we have to keep any, if it is necessary, we can keep a guard to see that, to keep an eye on it. Okay. So securing the footprints is a very important thing. So what happens means, some of the forensic scientists, like crime investigators, when they come, when they will be in hurry, like searching about all evidences. Sometimes what they will do by photography, by making a videography, they'll accidentally tap on it, which makes the footprint a bit disturbed. So these all should be avoided, and the preservation of the footprints is a very important thing. Okay, now we are going to study about the characteristics. Okay, now we are going to learn about the characteristics of the footprint. Okay, characters. So what are the characters of the footprints means? The first one, if you find any footprint and we are taking it, after preserving, we have to collect it, we are taking it to labs for examining that. So first, what are the characters we're going to see in the footprint? The length of the footprint, its breadth, and if you have height, also height, and then shape and size, and sometimes number of toes, because what happens, I'm going to say after, right, number of toes. And then you're going to see the arc, like how much is the distance between the arc to the ground, and then a distance of one footprint to other footprint, distance between two prints. Okay, and their characteristics normally, like if they have any cracks, injuries, like anything genetic disorder. Okay, so these are the these are the characters of the footprint. Okay, so in that also you have separately, that is size and shape of the ball of the foot, heel, and even the fingers, thumb fingers, like sorry, the foot fingers. Okay, so let us discuss about each and everything. So first of all, length, like how much is the distance or length. By these all characteristics we can come to a conclusion that what is the age of the person, what is the height, and how does he walk like fast or slow, like that. Okay, first length, breadth, and height in the case of the sunken footprints, and then shape, like how much big is that shape or small, and size, or it is a big, or it is a footprint of a very old man or a very young age man. And we can know about the distance, like how much he walks per minute, like that. Okay, if we have two footprints, that's only. Okay, number of toes, so number of toes and genetic disorder may be like number of toes. Sometimes you can find a footprint like this and only 1 2 3 only, the fourth one, the last one would be missing. So in that case what happens is it will be easy to suspect the culprit. You can match those with the culprit and the with whomever you are having like intentions. So by those only we can compare and we can easily find out. So number of toes, whether they are all toes are correct or not, and some type of genetic disorder. Like if having an extra toe, you can see with some people like extra thumb will be there, like only extra toes will be there. So but that also makes a very important character of the footprint. And cracks or injuries, so some people can have injuries, they can have some cracks like this, some part will be like enclosed. So those can make a small minute, the information can lead us to a very big solution. Okay, we have to check each and everything. So distance between two prints, you're having one footprint here and the other one. Okay, if you take here like this, one here, and of course the other one will be here. You can see the distance between these two and you can determine about the person, how does he walk. Okay, the distance between the two prints and arc, because only some footprints you can see the total arc this much, or for some will be like this. See, here you have broad, here you having very thin. So that is also arc also determine. And the size shape of this, one will be big and one will be like this slanting. You can see it will be like slanting thing, or for sometimes it will be like this much, but this will be big and this will be small, it will be like this. Okay, according to this also you can find the culprit. So these are the characteristics of the footprint. Now after the characteristics, the main important point we are going to go is about the how to take the footprint, how to preserve it, how to preserve is done, right? Okay, so after that location is done, like how to recover the footprint. So sometimes very important thing is also the note making in the footprint. Note making, because sometimes the note making makes a very important role in the footprint. You can, if you go and see the footprint, you're gonna take a sketch, you're gonna sketch it normally, randomly, and whatever you think it is a very important thing, you can sketch it. And if you think something that something other line is there, see you're having like this, na? Yeah, so here you cannot say this is correct or some word will be larger. So those you have to draw with the dotted lines. Okay, so sketching, the sketching you can also note down the length by recording it, the tape length, breadth, and you can also write some of the places near. What were the places? Here you found a paper. Here you found a paper just beside the footprints. So like that they can come into note making, which is a very important thing. So after note making, like now how to take the footprints like to the courts. You know, like many of the in every crime scene, after collecting the evidences and everything, if the case is filed, you're gonna take the evidences from the which were verified by the forensic experts to the courts. So the first thing what they're gonna show is first is photographs, right? See, photograph is a very important aspect, like not only for footprints, for whatever maybe the crime scene has occurred, like murder or robbery, everything. But photograph would be must and should. So, like now I'm going to say like how you have to take the photograph of a footprint. First of all, the if you have a footprint here, the outside outside surfaces of the 4 dimensions should be clear without any dirt particles. You have to remove very carefully, and you have to just take a clear image of that photo. Okay, so on the photograph you have three things. Like the first one should be top view photo, top view, and the second one should be side angle up to 45 degrees, like same side angle 45 degrees. This is should be right, the right side, and this should be from the left side. So whenever you are trying to take a photograph, the first photo you should take from from the surface, from the starting point, from the top of it, and then you have to take just lightwards up to 45 degrees. You have to keep the lens, and then you have to keep, and the lens should also zoom it so much, because under the foot also you have some of the marks like this. Like this marks you will find same as however your thumb is having these marks. So these marks will be there if you think this is a footprint. Yeah. So some of the clear lenses can give you these lines also under the footprints. Okay. So that's why they have to take in a very clear manner. So this is about the photograph. The 3 types of photograph should be taken: top view, side angle, that is 2 types. Okay. So that is about the footprint. So before taking a footprint, first we have to keep the identification slip towards close to it, to the one of the point, and then we have to record the actual sizes of it also, because when you are taking this picture, here you have to keep the tape, and you have to write here also like how much was that length of the footprint. So this is about the photograph, which plays a very important role. The photo should be crystal clear. Okay. Yeah, the quality photograph should be taken. Now after photograph, the next type of collecting. Okay, now the second type is tracing of the footprint. The first one was photograph. These all are coming under the collection of the footprint, how we have to collect the footprints. The first one is photograph. Okay, and the second one is tracing. As you all did tracing of the images, photos, coins, like that only we have to trace this. So what is the technique in this is, if you find a footprint here, then they'll keep the glass or celluloid sheet just close to the footprint, where it can trace the all whatever the outline sketch is there. Then with the sketch pen it will draw the outline and the number of toes, and how much was the correct distance between the toes and the foot, like ball of the foot. So this comes under tracing of that. And the second one, then the last one is lifting, which is a very important thing. Lifting of the footprint. Usually lifting is done if you also have any. How to lift the footprint means, as I said you, the one thing is plaster of Paris. Okay, by pouring that also you can lift the footprint. And if you have any wet type of surfaces of footprint, like example, if the footprint is with blood, it is a wet, right? So with blood or any type of greasy substances, then of course if you have it is blood, then if he is walking with having blood on his foot, that will be absorbed or attached to the floor. So that's why this will make a very difficult situation to lift the footprint. So that's why in lifting process we are having the 4 different types of liftings. Okay, so I will see what are those 4 different types of liftings. Okay, so the first one is electrostatic lifter. So this is an electrostatic lifter. What we'll do in this type of technique means, this is useful to collect the footprints from the dust type of footprints. Okay, what we'll do here is, first we will place a black vinyl sheet is placed over the suspected area wherever you find the footprint. Okay, what is it? A black vinyl sheet. Okay, so this black vinyl sheet, when you keep that, then it is covered with the aluminium foil. Aluminium foil. Okay, now the current is passed. Now, covered aluminium foil through which a high voltage of current is passed. Then what happens then? If the current is passed, that is up to 1500 volts. Okay, then that will be the whatever the dust particles are there, that will be attached to this vinyl sheet. Then after that they can be again removed also. So when you find the dust particles have came, what you can easily find the shape of the footprint. So this is the one of the electrostatic method. Electrostatic, you can, the name itself you are having it, electrostatic lifter. This is the first type of electrostatic lifter, which is very useful for the dust type of footprints. And the second one is gelatin liquid. Okay, gelatin liquid. What happens means, here the gelatin liquid is used, where first of all a thick layer of gelatin is placed. Upon that we will have the vinyl sheet which will cover it. Then this will have, it is a very less sticky and this can lift the impression very easily. Okay, this is about the gelatin liquid, where gelatin is used and also the vinyl sheet. And then the third one is adhesive lifters. Okay, adhesive lifter. So this is used for the lifting of the powdery impressions. So whenever, if you think like you have stepped on the powder and then you are walking, so those type of impressions these adhesive lifters will take. Okay, with the help of this technique the powdery impressions are taken. And then is micro seal. Micro seal. Here what happens means, one element, that is silicone, is used to lift the powder impressions on uneven surfaces. So this is used by the even surfaces, which is like floor or cupboards. It will be even. So here same type of process only, but it is used for the uneven surfaces. If you have like outdoor surfaces like this, you will have uneven surfaces, but you have to cast that, you have to lift that. Then this silicone product used to lift the powdered impressions on that. Okay, these are the 4 types of techniques for the lifting of the footprints. So what are the 3 types of collection methods now? First one is photograph, which is a very important thing, where you have to take from the 3 dimensions, from the top view and from the side angles at 45 degrees. And the second one is tracing of the element. You have a glass rod is placed on that, a glass is placed on that, and then it will trace the footprint about the edge and toes distance and everything, etc. And then third one is lifting. Okay, where we can lift the footprint by adding the plaster of Paris, or also if it is in the wet surfaces like blood and greasy substances, by these 4, electrostatic lifter and gelatin liquid, adhesive lifters and micro seal lifters. By these are the 4 types under the lifting process. Now the last thing is, how does the lighting also affect of the footprints? Okay, so the last technique is our enhancement techniques. The enhancement process. Whenever you take a photograph or a thing, you have to enhance it with to a very good clear picture. So to get that, what you have to do means, you have to use about the lights. The first thing is light images. Okay, if you have a footprint here, you have to place light from the top view and also from the side angles also. Even if you are having in the sunny areas or outside also, but even though the light should be very important aspect, because it can give a very clear images. And then you can also see about the shellac powders. So whenever if there is a fingerprint here, and if I sprinkle the shellac powder and like if you rub it again, you can get a fingerprint. Okay, so for some of the powders, non-porous powder substances, they can also give us a footprints which can enhance it. Okay, and by the lightnings, and also you have some of the chemical reagents also, which are which can give us that. Some of the chemical agents are like leucocrystal violet and luminol. These are the chemical reagents. By mixing it, by reacting it with, we can get the footprints. So this is about the footprints. I guess you have hoped I hope that you have guys have understood about the footprints. Okay, so like what is a footprint and where do we find the footprints, and what are the different types of footprints, and how they are collected, how are they preserved, and how they are examined, like what are the characters of the footprint they're gonna see. So by this I guess you have learned that is footprint a very important thing or not for a physical evidence. So this is about the footprints chapter. Okay, so lastly I can say that this is a very important physical evidence where you can find and can have up to give, it can give a greater solution for a crime scene. So hope you understood, and thank you.